So Sheil, you said earlier that once your family met Sean, that it was kind of the transgendered aspect was just a blip on the screen. So can you describe a little bit more about that? Because for those of us that aren't in a similar type of situation, we might think that your family might want to talk more about it, or Sean's family. So how does it?
Right.
Can you say more about that?
Yes. What occurs to me is that it's not as if I had been identifying as heterosexual all this time, and then I met Sean and he was transgendered, and then it was sort of no big deal. I actually came out as a lesbian when I was 14, and I had a partner for most of my 20s who has since transitioned from female to male, and that my family already knew about that before I ever met Sean. So they had more than 15 years of processing that and knowing about that, and they're actually really supportive and really interested in moving forward with gay rights, gay marriage in the U.S. So they're already coming with that information, that knowledge, that process.
Okay.
So then when I said I've met the love of my life and I've met Sean and he's a transgendered man, it was just like,
they were just happy about falling in love and
yes,
your partner.
That's right.
And also loving Sean.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, beautiful, thanks. And so for Sean, for you, one of the things also I wanted to ask is that in terms of the relationship of being together in a couple, we all have, couples are complex, families can be complex because we all have our own internal experiences of our lives and we bring that forward. So how does being a transgendered man, how does that have a play in your relationship with Sheol? Does it have a play in the marriage aspect?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think it does in lots of different ways, for sure. I mean, just one thing that comes up on the top of my head is that I have a lot of time in my life where I was female, so I have an understanding of sexism and how that plays out in the world. And so having an understanding of Sheol being a strong woman, and that strong women are often face a lot of sexism and aren't free to be fully expressed because there's a lot of constraints. So just even having that insight.
Yes.
And then in terms of our relationship, how do I say it? I think there's just ways that we are, like maybe energetically or something, that, being me being masculine and also soft, Sheol being feminine and strong. Like, not that I'm not strong, but there's these energies that I think are maybe partially because I'm transgender and Sheol's attracted to trans men. Like, I'm not sure what else. I think that
okay.
I think that it's certainly there. It's not. Yeah.
Okay, so how does in the process of being a transgendered man, and you said that Sheol is attracted to those. Sheol, can you say a little to because we all have an attraction, like we all have, we call them microdots. I like tall, dark men.
Yeah.
My sister likes men that. We all have different ideas about who our perfect mate is.
Yeah.
So Sheol, can you talk a little bit about your attraction to transgendered men?
Sure. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted it to be fun.
Yeah.
There we go. Yummy.
I think that I really am attracted to that masculinity, and I also am attracted to that softness and that awareness. And I think that for someone to go through their life and realize that they're transgendered and transition, that takes a tremendous amount of self-awareness, reflection, strength to really realize something that's like a truth about yourself.
Yes.
And move forward with it. And I think part of it is that I'm
Yes.
attracted to. It's actually about that transformation.
Yes.
That piece. And I think I like what Sean said about the awareness of sexism also. I think that is a big deal for me, and
Yes.
that as someone, I'm coming from a pretty strong feminist background, family, upbringing, and so for me, someone really understanding that and really understanding what female experience is like, and being able to really, it's like stand in my corner or really have
walked the path.
That sensitivity and that awareness, and from like a first-hand perspective, is a really big deal.
Nice. So do you so are you for Sean, for you, is with being with Sheol and knowing that you have, it's interesting because you have there's still quite a bit of your yin experience, your the soft experience, and then Sheol, really in a way you get the best of both worlds because you get a man who actually has the experience of also being female. So for you, Sean, you've obviously done a ton of exploration because you have to do an awful lot of reflection in order to get to the place where you found yourself and taking the path of committing to being a transgendered man. And there's many people you can imagine in the community that feel what you felt but are afraid. They're afraid to be fully self-expressed. Would you say that there's is there anything that you could say to the community, to our audience, that would have, gives the whole conversation is inspiring, I think. And was there a place at a time in your life when you knew that it was about, you were transgendered?
Right.
Like, was there a moment? Was there a pinnacle?
Well, I think really the kind of first time was when I was a kid, so that was before the language of transgender, but that's where I was like, I'm a boy.
Right.
There was this moment when in terms of being transgender, where I think it was just before my 30th birthday, and I was at a party, and there's this person who kind of came into the room, and I had lots of my lesbian friends around, other friends, and this person came in and was like the most masculine female I've ever met, and I was like, okay, well, whatever she is, I am.
Right. Lovely.
And it was like this man had walked into the room, essentially, because she later transitioned and became a man, and but I was like, whatever she is, I am.
Gorgeous.
And yeah, through that, it just
seeing through your eyes, seeing yourself in the other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, which is actually true awareness, isn't it? Beautiful.